What's up, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, economic realtor here. Hope everyone's doing well. So, got a comment the other day about just asking to identify the points of the market that I'm seeing that are a bit softer than others versus parts of the market that are still competitive. Um, now, I, I'm going to try to do this without giving specific examples of homes because um, I don't want sellers to get upset with me or listing agents to get upset with me. But in general, across the entire market, what I'll say is that homes that are taking longer to sell and where there's a little bit that have softened up a little bit are either homes that need a lot of work relative to the price. So they have it priced as a turnkey property when it needs a little bit of work. The same thing, priced as a turnkey property when the layout is different. So the home might be in okay shape, but the layout is awkward. It's not suitable. Most people looking at that home, it's not a layout that they would desire. And then three, homes that are a little bit further away from town, a little bit outside of the direct Burlington area, are starting to slow down just a little bit. We've talked about those move up buyers, that price range, the $700,000 to $900,000 price range. People are choosing to stay put as opposed to move up, but still, if your home is in a good neighborhood, is turnkey ready to go, like over in on Summerfield Ave in the Cider Mill neighborhood, you have a $700,000 home, $750,000 home. It's ready to go. 2016 build, has a favorable layout, has new floors. People don't want to do anything to it. That's going to sell pretty quickly. You're going to find the right buyer. But if you have a home in that exact same neighborhood that you have four dogs and the carpets all chewed up, the home needs a little bit of work, you price it at 725. That buyer's not out there right now. We're seeing some interesting stuff go on in the data right now as well, where basically there's a pinch going on. Buyers are getting priced out of the market. I mean, as I'm sure everybody's heard the headline stats, with interest rates going up, affordability is at an all-time low. Just to give some statistics about Vermont, the median home price in Vermont still went up year over year. It's at, I believe, 425 as of October, which is still up month over month. So the October stats just came out. So this is as of 15 days ago, the most recent month. Median home price still growing. Median condo price still growing, compared to even September. Remember, interest rates were in that 7% range. I would say for the entirety of October, they were in 7%. They didn't come down to the 6% until November. So the price is still rising. Affordability year over year has dropped by 36% for a single family home. And it's dropped by 39% for a condo because interest rates are going up and the price of the home is still going up. So at a certain point, if it gets too unaffordable, people aren't going to pay that price. I think we've leveled off in terms of the peak. We're not seeing prices skyrocket. We're not seeing a ton of buyers bidding up homes. But some examples of different aspects of the market that are still very hot. I think the under $300,000 condo range and even the under $300,000 single family home range, which there's hardly any. But for example, there was a fixer-upper home that just hit the market in South Burlington on Proctor Ave. I don't want to give the exact address, but I haven't been inside the home myself. It looks like it needs a lot of work. It's being sold as is. It probably needs a lot of work, but there's nothing on the market for $260,000 in Chittenden County. That's a single family home. I mean, all right, so somebody might call me out and find something for $260,000 that is, a shed with four walls, but something that's a legit home in a legit neighborhood, even if it needs to be completely renovated, I think that home is going to sell quickly. It might even sell for above asking, even though it needs a lot of work, just because the home across the street, 3-bed, 2-bath, that's selling for 520. We sold another home across the street last year, 3-bed, 2-bath, needed a lot of work. That sold for 420. So they underpriced it for that neighborhood. So because of that, that home is going to go quickly. There's not much on the market for under $300,000, and especially nothing that has a good opportunity to flip it, or is under market. I mean, in my opinion, that home's a little bit underpriced. Same thing with the under $300,000 condo market. So the thing about that is you can't build for under $300,000 right now. You can't build a unit for under $300,000. You can't build a unit in Chittenden County. I mean, there's no new construction for sale really under 450, I think is the lowest I've seen. So there's no new inventory coming to the market for condos or single family homes for less than $450,000. Now with affordability decreasing drastically, the affordability index is a little better with condos. So, I'm not exactly sure how they do this index, but basically we're at an 80 right now for affordability on single family homes, and we're at 106 for condos. To put that into perspective, in 2018, I'll have to look up what the single family home affordability was, but the condos were at around 250 for affordability because of where interest rates were and where the price of the home was. So it's come down drastically since its recent peak of 2018. But regardless, those condos under $300,000 that are in high demand because people can no longer afford the starter single family home in that 350 to 425 range, those condos that are turnkey ready to go are getting snatched up. They're still very competitive. Same thing with a well-maintained property, say a well-maintained 3-bed, 2-bath in pretty much throughout Chittenden County at around 425 to 475, let's say. That market is still very competitive. But at the same time, if you list a 425 single family home, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, let's just say, and the home needs some work, maybe it needs a new roof, maybe it needs a new furnace, maybe the kitchen's dated, it needs new flooring. These costs add up, and with affordability so low, buyers aren't snatching those properties up. On the other end of the spectrum, in the higher end, we talked about low-end condos, low-end homes, medium-range homes, medium-range condos, similar story, where if it's turnkey ready to go, it's still flying off the shelves. If you price it too high, if you price a $400,000 condo for $500,000, that's still going to sit on the market. People are sniffing that out. You have to look at what's selling around you. If you're a seller right now, you have to look at, okay, I want to list my condo for $500,000. Well, a buyer can go right down the street to your neighbor and get a condo for $450, or they can go over to South Burlington and get a condo for $475. Why are they going to go to your condo in Burlington and purchase it for $500? That's how you have to look as a seller. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, in the higher end price range, in my opinion, it all depends on location. I just listed a lakefront property for $1.5 million, where the sellers bought it for $1.2 million in August of last year. We listed it last week for $1.5 million, and it's under contract after the weekend. I can't say the exact price that it's under contract for, but it was an offer that the seller wanted to accept after only a few days of showing the property. And then even after it's under contract, I have a handful of agents who still want to show the property just in case something happens and the contract falls through, it comes back to market. There's a bunch of buyers out there for a lakefront property of this stature, because not that much lakefront has hit the market over the past year. So there's not much to see. There's a bunch of pent up demand, And with a property like this one that I listed, there's 370 feet of lake frontage, which is rare. It's on 2.5 acres on the lake with another 2 acres off the lake. And it's completely private. You can't see your neighbors. So people with that kind of money, this is what they're looking for. This is a great product. Now, if you have there's another, if you have a property on the lake that is more specific, maybe it's a weird layout, your home's not as updated, and the lot just isn't as special, these buyers aren't going to pay top dollar for it. I mean, there's a couple properties that I can think, you guys can look them up around Vermont that have been sitting on the market for a little while in that, million plus range, million to 4 million, let's say, where they just have a little bit of quirks to them and they're not getting snatched off the market. Same thing with homes, higher end homes in Burlington itself. That's been slowing down for a little while now. Even when the rest of the market was hot over last winter, higher end properties around Burlington in that, let's say 950 to 2 million, we'll say, in Burlington, for whatever reason, the buyer pool just isn't there. And there's a couple properties that have been sitting on the market for a very long time that I think have great opportunities because it's just not quite turnkey. It's not ready to go, and they've been sitting on the market. They're in a higher price range, but they are, they've been sitting there for so long. And I think if somebody comes in, fixes it up, puts the work that's needed into the property, that the buyer is going to be there on the back end. So anyway, that's a little bit of where I think the soft parts of the market are and the competitive parts. Basically, the opportunities, as is pretty consistent with real estate, come in the properties that aren't turnkey. The turnkey properties are still selling they're still selling fast in almost any price range. There are still buyers out there for the properties that are ready to go. Now, the biggest slowdown, I think, are in the move-up buyer range. And there's also a big slowdown in the second home market with homes, a little bit outside of town, maybe located near a ski area or, outside of Chittenden County, kind of in the wilderness. Those have started to slow down a little bit as well, surprisingly so. So anyway, Vermont Economic Realtor, hope that made sense. Kind of was rambling on, was trying to be specific without giving specific property addresses, just out of respect for sellers and listing agents. If you're looking to purchase or sell a home here in Vermont or anywhere across the country, let me know. I'd be happy to help you here in Vermont and can help you find a realtor anywhere else. So all my contact information is listed below. I'll see you guys in the next video.